With my recent video discussing the possible addition of Twilight Sparkle to the My Little Pony Generation 5 series, there were plenty of comments wondering about any other characters that might still be around at that time. And given the popularity of Discord throughout Friendship is Magic, a lot of fans are speculating whether he'll be showing up for the upcoming 2021 film on Netflix, even if just briefly. And the more I thought about it, the more certain elements started to click. Now, we really have no idea if the MLP staff intend to include any of the characters we want to see most making a return. The only tidbit which even hints at this possibility is that the old cast will be featured, but the majority of the focus will be on the new characters. Now, your guess is as good as mine on what old cast will mean. Seems rather likely this will include the main six, but there's no way to tell for certain just yet. But when thinking about Discord, along with everything I discussed in my previous video on Twilight Sparkle, I began imagining just how he might react given these same circumstances. If Twilight had to go for many, many years without her friends who gave her such confidence and focus even when things were at their worst, there's definitely a possibility she'd feel all the more isolated and uncertain. But with Discord, I think we can all agree that even though Discord wields far more power than Twilight and was even able to teach her some valuable lessons in his own chaotic ways, Discord is just not as mature as Twilight. Even in the final season of the show, he still thought it was a good idea to free some very dangerous villains in the expectation that he could handle it. With Fluttershy's gentle counseling, he certainly made a lot of progress, and I imagine by the end of the series he'd come a long way. But what would happen if Fluttershy was no longer around? In the previous video, I mentioned that MLP G5 may be so far into the future that each of the main six might have passed on. Twilight seems to be the exception, as she doesn't appear to be aging like the rest of them. But just as Twilight might have lost a part of herself with her friends passing, Discord would likely have lost even more so. There's actually a couple of fan fictions that deal with this very concept, which happens to be some of my favorite stories from the Brony community. Forever Young and The Keepers of Discord. While the former deals with Discord choosing to give up his immortality in order to be with the pony he cares about most, the latter deals with Discord having to go on, unable to completely let go of his feelings of loss. And if the MLP staff did decide to allow Discord even a brief appearance within the G5 film, it might help explain a few things. Like, for example, why paranoia and mistrust seems to have gripped Equestria. While Discord's very first appearance showed that ponies fighting amongst themselves gave him the power to break free from his prison, imagine that the opposite might also be true. That a grief-stricken Discord, unable to deal with the loss of his dear Fluttershy, over the many years had become all the more isolated. And whether intentionally or unintentionally, those negative feelings spread his chaotic powers across Equestria, leading to magic being lost. Come to think of it, Discord had demonstrated that he could turn the villains into stone. What if, in one of his less mature moments, he decided that rather than losing Fluttershy, he could keep her forever encased in stone? Or maybe many years after the rest of the main six had passed on? Twilight's failed attempts at comforting Discord had led to him turning her to stone. And that could be a reason why Equestria had lost its way, come to think of it. Honestly though, a lot of these ideas really feel more like fan fiction territory, as we must remember that the MLP staff must follow the guidelines of parent company Hasbro, and they are trying to market toys to children. Not to say that My Little Pony never had dark elements in their stories, they certainly have. But if they wanted to choose between a more dramatic, emotional story and a more lighthearted, entertaining adventure story, it seems more likely they'd go for the latter. But hey, here's hoping Generation 5 will have some deeper moments sprinkled in here and there. What do each of you think, though? Given Discord's apparent immortality as the spirit of chaos, do you believe we'll get to see his return even just briefly in the 2021 film? And if so, how do you think he'll be interacting with the world of Equestria after so long without the main six? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.